Already loading onto their sides, and we'll take a look real quick at the players we have on each team. Looks like there's just a little bit of confusion, but we will see it. Charisma, Proteo, and Profinator X up against Bungo, Champy, and Queeds. Already the pickoff getting one over by the blue side, finds its way deep into the orange. Charisma with a crisp shot onto the goal, and nobody going to be able to get back in time to deny that one. It's just too fast of a kickoff aggression, and Charisma gets that in just before Queeds can get back to save it and finds the opening for the first goal of the match. Only 6 seconds in, of course. There's plenty of more Rocket League to be played, but Queeds already just trying to set up some sort of offensive pressure, but with the low boost, has to pass it over to Champy, who just isn't quite able to get that initial touch off the wall, is able to get a follow-up touch, and it looks like actually some issues on the Profinator side as he will be disconnecting, looking to see if he can hop back in before anything else happens. But of course, with the ball already finding its way this deep into the orange side, and with the blue side having a lead, it's going to be a save needed for Proteo, but an easy one to make as he booms it over into the corner. Queeds trying to see if he can get a back hit shot into that net, but right now it is just the blue side defenders, currently 2 of them, having to hold off against the entirety of the Joc-o-squad, who is trying desperately to take advantage of the situation and equalize that scoreline at 1-1. We are already 1 minute expired. Again, we do have the blue side up 1-0. HDN doing a great job at holding it, but Champy is finally going to come through and seal up that equalizer, and an unlucky timing for Profinator to be DC'd, but he will be having to jump back in while the Joc-o-squad are allowed to reset the game. Meeting over in the middle, it's Champy against Proteo, and unlucky spawn there from Proteo, so it has to be a delayed kickoff from him. And it's ending up on Bungo's car as just a shot down towards goal. Queed's trying to get there with a bicycle hit in, but it's already just back over to Champion. 3 cars against 2. It's just going to be so hard here for HDN to just deny any sort of aggression happening in their end. They're down a player, and in a 3v3 situation, that just means, you know, shoot clear, shoot clear. By the time the third shot comes up, there's no one to clear it away. So unfortunately, they're just going to be trying to hold on as much as they can, get that third man back in here, wherever Profinator is. He did lose connection, was not a disconnection, so probably a technical issue, hardware issue, we're not quite sure, but does have 3 minutes to get in. But while we're waiting, it's just a non-stop aggression out of the Joc-o-squad. Another goal to get a 3-1 lead going here into the 5th kickoff. 90 seconds expired. Charisma just falling back because that ball isn't really going anywhere they can easily get to. Is going to pass it back over to Proteo. Only 23 boost here. And that's the other thing. With the extra player on the field for the orange side, they're just going to be able to steal away all the boost pads they want. And if they're able to keep the HDN locked down to no boost, that is going to be a crucial advantage, especially here. But Profinator joining back into the game. Seems like we will have a match underway yet. Joins in just before the halftime mark, so still about 2 minutes, 3 minutes actually, of game time to play with. But they are going to definitely be on the back foot, looking to get this equalized, but 2 goals needed to do it. It's a lobbed shot, not quite in, finding its way just on top of the goal, and while Profinator gets back into the server, gets killed for the trouble. He's saying, why did I even bother joining if this is the treatment I'm going to get? But nonetheless, he's the man in the back line now, sees a lobber going through. Champy receives it just by a hair's breadth faster. And Queeds just looking to try to actually get a shot on. Thought he was going to be passing that. Catches off the defenders a little bit as well. You can see how close that goal got to just being scored in. But 2 minutes to go. And you're already seeing Queeds regressed into this blue corner. And right now, as long as the orange side can just keep possession of this ball, keep the offense up, they can hold on to this 2-goal lead and secure themselves the first of 5. And just like that, they're going to get a 4th goal on the board, securing a 3-goal lead as Queeds just decides to pick it up and air dribble it in, or at least get it over to his teammate Champy, who decides to steal it along that bottom left corner. Regardless, nobody from the Joc-o-squad going to be too upset about goals going to any of their teammates, because right now it is a dominant affair An unfortunate disconnect leads to a very strong lead that has been even further capitalized on as the game has progressed. 100 seconds left. A hat trick needed just to get into overtime, and honestly at this point for HDN you're going to be thinking, well, let's just try to get some goals, get our teamwork on point, try to reset after that unfortunate technical issue, and we'll just try to win out from here. You can tell it's just not really rushing anything from the Joc-o squad. They're just waiting back. When they get the ball, they're playing aggressively. You can see here Champy just going to go for an aerial hit, try to see if he can get something fancy going on. But the more time this ball spends just deadlocked over into the blue, it's just less and less chances. Finally, it breaks away into the orange. You can already see Champy wants to clear that one away, but finds itself on the ceiling, finds its way to Cleeds, and actually does end up back on his car, but it's just got to be heartbreaking for HDN because they work so hard to get that ball finally out of their end. And here it is getting scored by Bungo to make a 5-1 lead. And at this point, 3 goals, of course, were scored during that unfortunate time where there were only 2 players on the blue, but now the Joc-o squad has gotten 2 goals with all 3. So winning in every aspect so far. Trying just to get some confidence back for HDN. I mean, they're not going to be too disheartened by this. I mean, it sucks that this game has gotten away from them so much, but they're mainly most likely, if they've got some good heads on their shoulders, which most players in IGL do, they're just going to be looking at this like, you know what? We got screwed by technology. The disconnect happened. It happened. Threw off our rhythm, threw off our flow, our teamwork, and you know what? Now we're here, ready to dominate. We're going to start up strong for game number 2, and the Joc-o squad, they might be a little bit anxious. I mean, they get this first win, and they do it pretty dominatingly, but you know that it's definitely not going to be the same affair for game 2, or at least, well, if you're the Joc-o squad, you're sure going to hope it is, but most likely, HDN going to be able to recover here. We know that these tier 2 players, very resilient most of the time. With only 12 seconds to go, at this point, it's just a formality. Ball going just to be floating along for the final few seconds, but it will be the Joc-o squad pulling away a Game 1 win, and Charisma going to sink in a goal at the end as well, a second for him, as he was the one to score that lone one. But it is just a nicely little placed aerial shot and gets straight into the net. A little assistance from a defender, but, you know, everybody needs a good team behind them. So 2 seconds to go. At this point, we're just waiting out the clock. Might go for 1 additional goal here from either side just to have some fun with it. We're playing Rocket League after all, but looks like that should seal the deal. It's going to be found deep into the blue, and that will be the first game going over to the orange. Meanwhile, HDN going to be looking if they can recover and come back to equalize. Be back in a minute. Straight back into it. The players hungry. The Joc-o squad want to get up to match point. HDN looking to get themselves equalized, making up for that technical issue by coming out here and snagging a win. The first kickoff going to come out. It's Queeds up against Profinator. It's going to find a nice lob over deep into the blue, and oh, you thought for a second it might find its way in front of the goal, but just off that crossbar, the lobber not going to come through on the end either. None of these shots just connecting from the Joc-o squad, and finally that ball starting to break away, but Bungo's back in time, jumping up for it, keeping it over towards mid, and Prodeo allowed to steal it away. Queeds just back towards goal, does manage to save it, and now it's Profinator looking to take a 1v1, but Queeds wins that as well. It's over to Champy. Now off the corner, and you can see Queeds with the demo onto Charisma. It does open up this blue side goal, but they still just can't seem to break that crossbar curse. They are hitting it every single time they come up here, and just like that, we find ourselves still at an equalized scoreline, 0-all. Over into mid. Prodeo to boom it downfield. It's a potential offensive play, and the ball finding its way mid does open up some sort of attack, but the defender's just too close to the ball, just staying too close in proximity, but Bungo is not going to be able to get up in time to deny that one. Prodeo able to sink in a boomer from the midfield line. It's not the fastest shot, but it's fast enough just to get by that lone defender. He couldn't quite find the angle in time, and with a little bit of assistance from that crossbar, it's once again HDN finding the first goal of the game. Profanator in front of the goal. Ooh, just barely missing that connection into goal. The ball going to find its way onto Queeds yet again, but Proteo very offensive in this orange end, able to get up in time and just try to touch it away. Charisma centering it back off the back, and oh my goodness, Queeds just able to deny that follow-up shot from Proteo. It's back over into this corner where Profanator takes a life for the trouble and tries to get back in time. Queeds not quite hitting the shot on net, but Proteo to clear it away anyway, and Bungo with a fast follow-up shot, but Charisma able to slide along that goal line and deny it. Now forced to save yet another one on a fadeaway shot by Queeds as he loses his life. Bungo just looking for a setup towards mid, and Champy reads it, but he can't quite get anything going. Keeps the ball over into the blue. Queeds wants to go up, now has a potential shot, but Charisma, once again, the man shutting him down at every opportunity, but Champy is in a dangerous spot. He's getting this ball back over to the teammate, and Bungo, another shot towards net. Profanator to deny, and already the counterattack underway. It's Queeds and Champy back right now, all three now, and Queeds just looking to capitalize off this upfield pass. Charisma does manage to stall it, but Champy still on their tails. It's over into this corner. Bungo centering it back towards mid. Champy desperately trying to touch that back towards net, but it's stopped by the blue side defenders again, and we find ourselves just into the second half where Charisma now trying to win out in a 1v1. Champy tries to go up for some sort of aerial denial, but with no boost, he kind of misjudges it, has to fall off, and now Queeds just trying to get fancy with it, but it's Profanator to save it away before the teammate comes through. It's a lob back over into mid. Proteo to play upfield. Charisma wants to play it out as well, but Bungo already touching it. Profanator here, and Queeds a crucial touchdown mid, but Proteo leaving this back over towards the orange goal yet again. Passing back possession leaves now Charisma with a forced 50 that ends up going back over towards the orange goal. Profanator tries to follow, and Proteo now just jumping up off the wall. He gets a shot over towards net as well. Queeds forced to save that one away, and Profanator comes through with a beautiful shot. This time, the crossbar being found for the HDN side. Seems like it's a crossbar game, but every single time they hit it, it seems to go in. So with under 100 seconds to go, HDN going to be sitting nicely at a 2-goal lead. A meet in the middle leads to the ball into the blue, though. Now Bungo forced to fall away. The lone man back has to try and get something going here, and Champy too fast on the follow-up to that pass to allow any sort of defense to come out. Proteo, a very nice shot, a very nice save, sorry, to deny that shot. But Profanator trying to set up for something, and you can tell he is just desperate to get this ball in front of the net and try to deny any follow-up shots. Bungo gets a boomer downfield, doesn't find the net, finds the crossbar, and now it's bouncing off the corner. It's over to Charisma, over onto this wall, and Proteo just going to take it straight off him. Champy meets it up, gets it over off the right wall, and Bungo, a fast counterplay, opens up the goal, and that's going to do it for Queeds. A first of 2 on the board that they need to equalize this game and get themselves into overtime. And for HDN, it is definitely a time for them to tighten up the defense, or perhaps tighten up the offense, try to get back that 2-goal lead. Only 56 seconds left, though, and Queeds, a strong kickoff to dominate this ball into the blue. Finds its way off the corner again, but onto the hood of Charisma. It's an awkward angle for Bungo, and he loses his life for it. Does get a touch, but now bouncing over towards the orange goal. It's just going to be high off the crossbar, and Bungo wants to hit it away. It's over into the corner, but one's already on it, and that's Profanator. He's getting it downfield. Queed wants to get there and try to get a pre-flip jump to get that away, but it's just not going to work out, and Profanator finds the ball back over into the corner, gives it to Proteo. Bungo forced to save it away, and save it away he does. It's back over. Charisma now trying to take a shot. Bungo to boom it downfield, but Proteo already up, going to deny that immediately, trying to pogo it in, but Champy going to deny. Once again, it's just back and forth, but Champy, a beautiful little follow-up to get a second goal back, or a second clear away off of that arrangement. But over into the corner, it's Queeds trying to set up something. Profanator goes up. He just wants to kill this, and Bungo trying to keep it alive. The ball goes high, but Proteo takes it. Champy managing to keep it high, and Bungo, a very nicely placed shot to get it downfield. Queeds tries to seal the deal, but it's Champy coming in the end. He hits it high, floating over towards mid. It's lobbing towards goal. Oh my goodness, and by the seat of their pants, HDN able to snag away game 2 with the ball just inches away from equalizing it at the last second. A close game, and now a best of 3. And we'll jump into game 3 here in just a minute. Hopping into game number 3, HDN able to bite back, equalizing it at 1-1. Whoever takes this game, of course, will be sitting at match point, looking to try and take away the first best of 5 here in winter 2021. And Queed's already picked away on the defensive line, trying just to get Charisma to boom this away, and they do. It's a fast counterplay, and what a shot downfield, but Queed's gonna deny it. Just rolls that over to the corner. Luckily, he's back for that one, because what a beautiful little team play to get it downfield. Prodeo, deep close to this goal. Similarly to Profanator, Charisma the only man back, and doing a good job of it. Queed's pressures up, trying just to roll this ball past, and Profanator to follow through. It's a lobber to himself. He's going to center that over in front of the goal. Charisma trying just to sink that under the defender, but just not quite on target. It's over to the right, and now Prof looking to get this back over towards the orange side net, but it's just going to find the opposite. Bungo managing to sneak a goal straight along that goal line and just absolutely hammer it home. Charisma not quite aware that Bungo could be so fast to that ball, just trying to get it away from Queeds, who was hot on his tail, and just a nicely reacted shot there from the man himself, and it's just going to be a follow-through shot. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what's happening, because so far the HDN defense is just being torn apart. An unfortunate kickoff leads to Champy just being able to get that shot straight into the bottom left. And now it is not only Bungo with the only goal on the team, it's going to be Champy up there with him, and oh my goodness, yet another kickoff going straight back over towards this blue goal. Charisma tries to get it away, and he does succeed, but Bungo's so fast on the follow. Oh my goodness, Queed's almost hitting a follow-up shot into the net, but right now it's Prodeo just trying to get this away. Profanator not quite able to hit that touch off the wall, but Prodeo with full boost is going to be able to commit to this pretty nicely. Getting forced off the angle there. You can see Queeds just looking to dominate him off the ball, and they are able to eventually bully that man off and take Charisma for the effort as well, but Profanator not going to allow it to go uncontested for long, as Bungo's life is extinguished as well. Charisma back over here to try to deny any sort of follow-up shot there from Champy. Ends up leaving it for Prodeo as Bungo to follow through from the midfield. Does have an aerial opportunity and actually lands that shot into a nicely met pass, but it is too fast of a clear from the blue side, and unfortunately their counter-aggression not able to land them a goal. Very nicely sped up shot, just not quite accurate enough to find the inside of a net. Prodeo back over to the wall. Tries to get that aerial ball, and ultimately it has to be Charisma to go for it. Does not make connection, but luckily the Joc-o-squad just waiting, being patient, and it is not capitalized on. Still a 2-goal lead for the men in orange. And we are about to reach the halftime mark. It's been pretty slow since that first minute, where of course we did see those 2 fast goals, and definitely from HDN their defense has been tightened up as this game's progressed, but their defense isn't the thing they need to be worried about right now. It's this right here. They need to try to score off this, get the first of 2, and try to get themselves back into it. Prof tries to go up, gets it off one defender, but it finds its way back over to Charisma, back over to Prodeo, and it's going to be hit back downfield, where Charisma just barely hitting that one over off goal, and now a fast counter play up mid just leads to an easily sunken shot from Queeds off a beautifully fast pass from Bungo. Let's watch it one more time on the replay. Just a shot downfield. Champy's in the goal as well, just in case they need to demo any last minute players. But Queeds very nicely placed, and like that, a hat-trick lead going into the final 2 minutes. Bouncing off the ceiling. Ooh, it's Prodeo looking to meet there against a defender, and Profanator taking his life away. Sorry, Profanator having his life taken away. Just weakening this dangerous situation for the blue side. And Bungo falling back. They know that as long as they don't allow any goals here, there is absolutely no way for HDN to come back into this one, and Champy just gonna boom it even further upfield. Bungo, sorry, with a almost beautiful aerial shot to just carry that one in, but he leaves it for Queeds, who comes through and gets a 4-0 lead. going into the final 80 seconds, and right now for the Joc-o squad, things are looking great. They're saying, you know, we had so much fun doing this in the 2v3, we wanted to give it a shot in the 3v3, and, you know, I think they're seeming to like it. So it'll be interesting to see if this dominating offense carries on into game number 4, but right now it is looking done and dusted here in game 3, as with only 70 seconds to go, HDN with nothing on the board needs to find 5 to force overtime. It's a Herculean task, and they definitely could do it, but Queeds looking to set up a 6th and almost gets the double touch. Leaves it over for Champy, who is unable to secure a goal, but it's still just going to be boomed back downfield. No goals really necessary as long as you're not allowing them to score off your offense. Anything is acceptable right now for the Joc-o squad because they are so close to victory they can taste it. They are looking to get up to match point and hoping that they can just make this a crisp 3-1. They were robbed of their equalizer at the very last minute of the last game, and this time they are not going to allow any opportunities for an equalizer. As now with only 25 seconds to go, still nothing scored by the blue, and we are just waiting out these final few seconds. Of course, no time in Rocket League is wasted. You gotta continue to try to hit those passing shots, hit those goals into net, and just keep that confidence up going into game 4 because we're in tier 2. These men are absolutely able to deliver, and they are going to be looking to. 2-1, they're down but not out, but HDN give up the match point to Joc-o squad, and we're going to be seeing a game 4 where match point is on the board. Champy potentially just getting himself a goal right here at the end. Does keep it up, but ultimately that is it for HDN, as going now into game 4, it is do or die, as they need 2 quick ones if they want any, or they need this one if they want any chance at getting 2 quick ones to get back into this. We load now into potentially the last game of this match. Our Neiges finding themselves down at 1-2. Meanwhile, the Joc-o squad looking to steal this one all away. It's a boom off the ceiling immediately, and Champy so close to getting that double touch in, but not going to be able to do it. The read is there, but unfortunately the boost is not. And it finds the ball over in front of the orange goal, where Profinator is going to strike fast. With a booming fast shot, Proteo's efforts are not denied. He manages to stall that ball, gets it up, and then Charisma's aggression manages to force a mistake out of the orange side defenders. You could see that team bump, and that will lead with 15 seconds into the match. HDN with the first goal. Queeds already, though, trying to fast pressure this, and the double touch is just so close. But once again, it's just a second member to come through and secure up that goal. This time it's Bungo coming through. An equally fast shot just straight into the middle of the net, and no way for Proteo to get up in time. It's an equalized game once again. 23 seconds in, it is do or die for these players, trying everything they can just to get another goal on board. And that goal, oh my goodness! You thought it was finding the crossbar, but Bungo just able to defy expectations, sink that one into the top left, and it just rolls in off the crossbar, and absolutely everything was done by Charisma to try and deny that one. And maybe if he was a 1/10 of a second slower, he might have been able to get there, but just such a fast little shot off the wall, and honestly, not one that you're really expecting. Profinator, though, definitely wants to try to come up here and see if he can secure up an equalizer himself. Proteo meets it, and Champy, what a nice 51 out, gets it into the corner, and this ball's going to center over in front of the goal. It has to be a double commit on the save. Ends up being a triple commit, and Queeds, tries to get a fadeaway shot into the net, but it's just over. Finding itself in front of the net, Proteo not going to allow that one to sneak over the line, but it's Bungo hitting it back down towards mid. Queeds denies the clear, but Champy has to try to get this one on net. He does, but Proteo's there to deny. The wall not going to allow that. Goal leads us. Oh my goodness, and just as I'm saying, the wall not allowing any further goals to come through, it's going to be a quick little pass down off the wall from Bungo to Queeds, and Queeds is absolutely going to fire that one into the goal. A minute 15 expired, a 2-goal lead found here, and a double commit off the offense this time. Proteo already jumping up there with Profinator X, and they are not able to get any sort of attack on goal. They do keep it in the orange, but they've already expended a lot of boost here and a lot of manpower. And just like that, barely a ball going to bounce off the crossbar and go into mid. But Queeds fast on the follow. Already going up. Oh, does get the double touch this time, but just can't find the inside of the goal, and Proteo denying the follow-through from Bungo. They know that it's going to come through. Every single time one of these players tries to go for some sort of double touch, some sort of passing play, it is a second player just waiting on the ground, ready to shotgun that ball over the goal line if necessary. And right now, that is absolutely needed for HDN, but it seems like the Joc-o-squad are just so dominant on offense right now. Look at this aggression. Profinator is able to win out against 2, but Charisma goes up for a 50, ends up forcing it to the right wall. Proteo is there and manages to get an initial touch, and with a miss from Queeds, that leaves an opportunity for the equalizer. Not the equalizer, the first of 2 needed for it. And Profinator does try to secure it, but ultimately the orange side able to emerge unscathed. Halftime now. Still a 2-goal lead for the men in orange. And with it, they sit on match point. If they win this one, they will of course be taking the entirety of this match. They will get credit for their first IGL Winter 2021 win and potentially off to a flawless season. Queeds over off the wall, back over to Champy, and nobody back to defend. It is just a breakaway from the orange. They find this ball deep into the blue, over towards this wall, and Champy just no one in net to contest him. Just a shot straight in, nicely placed, nice power, nice speed, and it's a hat-trick lead yet again for the Joc-o-squad. 119 seconds to play with. HDN definitely able to equalize, but it is an even more daunting task now as Queeds just hammers himself into that ball straight off the kickoff. It's a very fast double commit, but it just works out beautifully. Queeds perfectly understanding where that ball's going to go, and almost as if it is just it is just the Queeds show right now. Queeds, Champy, absolutely everybody. I apologize, not just Queeds, absolutely everybody on this Joc-o-squad has been showing up so instrumentally huge, whether it's defending, whether it's setting up passing plays. Just seems like every player that gets possession of this ball has some way of hammering it into that net, and for HDN, it just seems like the offense being a little bit too much to handle. Charisma does deny the ball, and it's going to leave it over into the orange, but Profinator not able to get any sort of attacking play on net. Bungo booming it back downfield, and once again, such a fast counter play, and what are you supposed to do when at absolutely every turn, it just seems like the Joc-o-squad is preparing to boom it upfield and snipe it right past your defenders, and honestly, how are you even able to calm something like that when it can go across the entire field in less than a second? It just seems like there's too much to handle right now for HDN. There's just too much offense coming their way, and they are not able to formulate any sort of fast counterattacks when all of their time is having to be forced into defense, and even with that, Joc-o-squad is still finding chinks in the armor. They have found their way into an uncontested goal, about 2 or 3 of those 6 goals. And they are just doing everything they can on the HDN side, trying to get some goals on board. They need 5 to force overtime. It's finally going to find its way over into the orange. Proteo is along that goal line, but Bungo, they're just in time along the goal line, denying a shot, and with 30 seconds to go, Charisma not even going to be allowed that one. Queed's just going to float along and tap that ball away. Bungo booming it back downfield. It's over in front of the blue goal again, and Charisma does find it, but with 15 seconds to go, it is almost mathematically impossible for these guys to come back in, but they get the first one with 11 seconds on the board. It is 4 goals to go to equalize. 11 seconds left, so doing my very quick math, it's just under 3 seconds per goal needed. So it has to be 4 quick kickoffs, and this has to be the first one. Prodeo up, not able to win it, and that should seal the deal. Profinator gets it back over towards mid, where potentially that fast shot could have come through, but it is just going to be too much to overcome, and the Joc-o squad will be your victors, taking their first win here in IGL Winter 2021.